But I must move on, because there is a lot of discussion, not so much in the cosmological area, but in the biological area. So, as a mathematician, I am particularly interested in where mathematics and biology come a little bit together. And so I want to talk to you not about evolution, but about the origin of life. Richard Dawkins fails, as many other people too, to distinguish the two. Evolution, in its normal understanding, depends on two things. It depends on a fine-tuned universe. Nothing that people say in connection with evolutionary theory affects in one iota the arguments I've just given to you, because evolution depends on a fine-tuned universe. Secondly, evolution depends on the existence of a mutating replicator, because the origin of life is asking the question, where did the mutating replicator come from? And I want to think just a little bit about it. Cosmology was just 6 numbers. DNA is just 4 letters. And the DNA code, of course, is one of the fascinating discoveries of recent years. And I have been fascinated by Paul Davies and the evolution of his own thinking. For 100 years, he says, the debate has been dominated by chemists who think it's like baking a cake. If you know the recipe, you can just mix the ingredients, simmer for 1,000,000 years, add a pinch of salt, and life emerges. Life is not about stuff, he says, about magic matter. It's about a very special type of information processing system. And the whole subjects of information theory and complexity theory are very much in their infancy. It is often said, he goes on, that life is written into the laws of physics. Well, it isn't, any more than houses or television sets are. It is consistent with those laws, but they alone will not explain how it came to exist. A law of nature of the sort we know and love will not create biological information, or indeed any information at all. Ordinary laws just transmit input data into output data. They can shuffle information about, but they cannot create it. You see, ladies and gentlemen, in 1953, the origin of life, it was claimed, had been discovered. At that time, it was not known that life was not simply a jumble of randomly associated amino acids. It had a semantic, a linguistic structure, which was eventually decoded in the DNA. And for over 50 years now, people have tried to give a purely naturalistic solution for the origin of life. And many origin of life experts with whom I have spoken say we're further from a solution than we were at the beginning, simply because of the nature of the information we're dealing with. And so we're faced with 2 worldviews that I can express in a simpler form. Naturalism says in the beginning were the particles, and somehow the particles formed the universe, and the universe formed life, and life developed consciousness, and consciousness developed the idea of God, because of course God doesn't exist. That is, mass energy is primary, mind is derivative. The other worldview is the exact opposite. Mind is primary. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things came to be through him. Isn't it interesting, at least it is to me, that the Bible that says relatively little about the way in which life originated and the universe originated puts its finger on the key element in the modern debate. And my challenge to you tonight is this: which makes more sense scientifically? That rationality came from irrationality by unguided, mindless processes, or that rationality, our rationality, came from God. In the beginning was the Word, claims the 4th Gospel. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just the start.